So this is Baruch Fleischman at the Tikkun Elevator Kollel, and I'm inviting you to come and learn along with me the Tiva Kavonos, which is really a Pirush Rahut, a running commentary on the Sefer Shara Kavonos, written by the Ari Kodesh and said over to Rabbi Chaim Vital. So we come over here, and I'm going to review just a little bit what we said before, and let's just read the top here and see if I could bring out the main idea that he wants to say, because this little review try to get us into the next step. So you have to know this in all of our prayers. We elevate. What we're trying to do is elevate the worlds. And make yichudim with them, to bring them all together to oneness. So that's the purpose of prayer, is to elevate the level of the world that we live in, and also at the same time to make unity in the world. Be'inyan, so he says like this is the inyan. Let me get this straightened out. Ha'hechalos, we see this in other places in the Zohar, V'gam came b'parshat Pekudei. We see what's going on in prayer over there, how it goes up, and then it brings back down Shafa. But here's the part that he wants to make. This is the hard part to understand, and we've learned it before, and it's really important. The fact of the matter is that as you are praying the Shemona Esrei, you are able to reach up into Atzilus. That is, the possibility is there for us to actually become tremendously intimate with the Ein Sof Baruch Hu. We don't take advantage of it like we should. But on the other hand, you're still standing on the world, on the earth. While you're praying, you're in a shul or wherever, and you're still standing on the ground. So it's obviously the earth didn't move up. So what part did move up? So we said the part is that there are two parts, an inside part and an outside part. It's called the Pnimius of the Olam and the Chitzonius of the Olam. And the Pnimius of the Olam is the spiritual part. That's called also by the name, and let me just bring this out so you could see it real quickly. It's also called by the name Naran, which refers to these words, Nefesh, Ruach, and Neshama. The Neshama is inside of the Ruach, and the Ruach is kind of inside of the Nefesh. And all of these three work together because they're called the Or of the Ein Sof, as it appears inside either a vessel or inside of a person, like the person's Neshama, because the Neshama has the Ruach and the Nefesh along with it. Just keep that idea in mind. So then we say that's the part, the Naran is the part that moves up. So let's go on. So he says, Ki ein anu yocholon la'alos olamos bri yitzir nasiyah ad etzilus. The physical worlds, we can't move this world. In order to bring all of the world back to Etzilus, will be a completely spiritual world. But only the inside part, which I just mentioned, is called the Naran, which is in these three worlds. So he's going to explain more. So when the Shechina, which is the spiritual force of the bottom of Olam Etzilus, starts to rise up, it also pulls all of this up with it, but it's purely on the spiritual side. Because Shechina is the Malchus Elyono, and attached to the Malchus Elyono is everything else. As I have read, as I have written, the Rav says in regards to the Tefilah of Rosh Hashanah, he says, Ki ha-neshamos hem yoser penimim min ha-malachim. So now this is another idea. The Malachim represents Chitzonius. V'lechein ha-Malachim einim olim rak b'Shabbos lavad. So therefore, the Malachim, the Neshamas, go up every day, bringing along with them the Ruach and the Nefesh, all the spiritual attitude. But on the other hand, there are also Malachim, which are channels and different kinds, only go up on Shabbos. V'zesod hein al-reilim tz'aku chutza. That is their reilim, which is another word for Malachim. They cry out on the outside. Ritzon Alomer, they can't go up. Ritzon Alomer tza'ako l'siva shehem chutza. They're crying because they're on the outside. Below mahaponim, and then I think it should be bebifnim, but anyway, mahaponim. V'chein einim yecholon la'alos ima malchus. So therefore, the malachim are not able to go up with malchus. Now, where we stopped there last time was right here on number Kaf. And it says like this, V'chein hamalachim einim oilim rak b'Shabbos levad. So therefore, the malachim only come up on Shabbos. V'zesod heim al reilim. So this is the concept of the malachim tza'aku. They're crying outside chutza. that means that they're not able to come in with the Niran and make an aliyah like that. The Ritzon Loma to say like this: Tza'ako, they cried out, the Siba Shahim Chutzu V'lo Maraponim, because they're outside and they're not part of the part that's inside. So therefore they're not able to go up with Malchus. Sharak b'Shabbos, that only on Shabbos, Gam HaMalachim Yecholim La'alos, that is when the Malachim are also able to go up. So just understand this idea, it's a fact. It comes out in other places in Kabbalah, is that the Malachim always represents the Kitzonius of the Lamos. Ubechol, and then during the weekday, let's talk about the weekday. Sheha Aliyah, he rocked the Benimius of the Lamos, where the Aliyah is only from the Naran, which is the Benimius of the Lamos. Rak Neshamas Yisrael Yechol and La'alos, only the Neshamas of the Jewish people are able to go up. Shirak came to Bechinat Benimius of the Lamos, because only the Neshamos, the Ruchos, and the Nefashos are able to go up. Because the Malachim can't. Why? So therefore they cry out. They're called by this name Arelim. Now what does Arelim mean? And they're saying that Arelim, the Malachim, are called by this name. So why are they on the outside? So why are they only created? Why are Malachim only dealing with the outside of the world? Why don't they go into the world? And not made from the Penimius Olamos. Like, for example, the Neshamas, which contain within them Ruchos and the Fashos. Now coming back to Shabbos. Where you have an aliyah also to the outside parts of the world. Also the Malachim can go up on that too. Let's talk about the Olamos themselves. The Olamos, they're not able to go up. Amen, until the time of the Mashiach, should come quickly in our days, a little bit more. So he says, where are we here? Kamalachim, let me see, I think I missed something. Ki oz yis'alo. They will be elevated, v'ya'alo ha'olamos atzman. Then when the Mashiach comes, the physical world that we know will stop. So he says that's what it means. Ha'olamos atzman will start moving up into a spiritual stratosphere. Aval ata, but now, lo yesh aliyah v'hiskalos ha'olamos l'mala. The olamos, the physical worlds themselves, are not moving up. Only the spiritual aspects of those worlds. Ela bechidas and neshamas, which we call the neshamas, bilvad, ima malchus, together with the malchus. Ukamosh echtov, as I am going to write, l'kamon, as we go further into this, she'em shum chitzonius oila, there is no concept where the chitzonius can go up. The chitzonius cannot go up. It's only the penimius. Rak nisha b'makoma, but it stays in its place. Bechoza the chiyos penimius, and then later it can become penimius again, and we have to explain that, because what happens is the penimius of the lower world moves up and attaches itself to the chitzonius of the world above it. That makes the chitzonius of the world above it into a penimius. That's an issue that we've dealt with before. Now let's see if we can get just a little bit more. I just love this Torah, but we're going to get into some real nice stuff. And let me read just this one piece right here, and we'll get back to it again tomorrow. So he says, then only when the Mashiach comes will there be a aliyah of the physical worlds. Hainu. So everything we explain, we have to know this. There are two different aspects. Shehem penimios olamos, that is what's the spiritual aspect of the olamos, which is penimi to the wall. The mas'ala b'kol yom, that goes up every single day. When you daven Shemona Esrei, it goes up. For Yitzonius olamos, but then there's Yitzonius olamos, which is the physical structure. HaMis'ala rak b'Shabbos, which only goes up on Shabbos. Called aliyah hu rak b'kelim shel olamos, so all of the elevation. That elevation comes out only b'kelim shel olamos, with the vessels of the olamos. The etzem olamos mashma mamish, but the utter essence of the olamos Shehu b'bechila shlishis, which is another aspect altogether. We have panemios, and he says that panemios with gitzonios. Now he's telling us there's an essence aspect. V'hukumo haguf l'neshama ba'adam. It's like the relationship of the body to the neshama. Eino masala klal. It does never go up. Lo b'chol v'lo b'shabbos. It doesn't go up on b'chol and not b'shabbos. Previously he said that the malachim go up on Shabbos, but not the worlds themselves. So everything that we do, and we're able to elevate as a result of our prayers and our our worship, who rock as the penimios for hitzonios shebekalim shalom. It only deals with the penimios, and then also the hitzonios when the penimios attached to the yisodah shebekalim shalom. Only that. Below as etzem ha'olam, but not the root of the worlds. Atzman. She'ein lona yochol la'aloso b'zman hazeh, because we're not able to elevate it at this time. Rak achrei bias Mashiach, only after the time of the coming of the Mashiach. Az yis'alu ha'olamos atzman gam came. So this will call the worlds themselves to go up then at that time as well. This is Baruch Fleischman here at the Tikkun Elevator Kollel. This is I think the 6th shir in the changes that we're going to start learning about in the Shara Kabbalah.